What turns a fierce critic who called the president clueless into his strongest defender? In an extraordinary twist of Gambian politics, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, who once ridiculed President Barrow on national television, now stands as his information minister, attacking the very opposition he once championed. But the most shocking revelation isn't just about his transformation. Stay tuned until the end to hear the explosive details about allegations of election fraud, disputed millions, and a Truth Commission controversy that could reshape the Gambia's political landscape. The price of power, Ismaila Ceesay's transformation. The critic becomes the defender. Once a fierce critic who branded President Barrow as clueless on national television, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay has undergone a remarkable transformation that raises serious questions about political integrity in the Gambia. His journey from opposition figure to information minister showcases a dramatic shift in positions that cannot be ignored. Before the position. As an opposition figure, Ceesay built his reputation on openly criticizing President Barrow's competence, questioning government spending and accountability, positioning himself as a voice for change and reform, standing with opposition figures against government policies.
Solve all this problem is what? For President Barrow to resign. But before he resigns, he appoints a reformist, technocratic vice president who will oversee the rest of the transition period, implement the rest of the reforms, oversee a successful constitutional review and a referendum, organizes election. All these political leaders, the Hamad Bas, let them all be removed from cabinet. Yes. This president, this reformist president, when Barrow resigns, the vice president becomes the president. So the constitution is not really violated because the reformist vice president becomes the president. And then he can appoint a reformist, technocratic cabinet. Let them do the work. Let the politicians, Barrow, go and form his party and come back in 2021. Let everybody go and do their politics and leave these technocrats to run the rest of the 2 years of the transition. Like I said, we missed the opportunity in the first half. We're in the second half. Second half is going to be, the half time will end in January. Second half starts in January.
What was their success? What do they do at the time? When I talk about this, I lose my temper. I get irritated. But they were here. Where was he? Dr. Ismail. When we opened that door for everybody. But my friend, it was difficult at that time. It was a matter of now or never. It was a matter of death or alive. We are on the line to make sure we change the system that was here.
After gaining power, now as information minister, Ceesay defends the same administration he once criticized, attacks opposition figures like Issa Val, a respected lawyer, justifies government spending. He previously questioned claims those criticizing the government don't understand governance, the stark contradictions. The most glaring contradictions appear in his recent radio interview. He now meticulously defends government spending figures. He questions the competence of opposition figures who raise similar concerns to those he once raised. He supports the same political system he previously condemned. He dismisses legitimate questions about governance that mirror his past criticisms.
I filed yesterday, and I'm very disappointed that someone who vies to become the president of the country would misinform the public.
Misinform?
Of course. Most of the statements he made here yesterday were misinformation. And I think and the president knows this.
Make specific references, please.
I'll come there. Yeah. The president has opened the political space, and anybody can really come and contest for elections in this country. But it should be done in a manner in which you don't have to misinform the public to get.
You're crediting the president with the open political space.
Of course, yes. We all knew what was happening here before the president came. Now, you see that even in fact, look at the number of candidates that contest for both local and presidential elections compared to Yahya Jammeh's time. In Yahya Jammeh's time, most local government elections are not opposed. People don't contest, but now you have 6, 7, 8 contestants. In the last president's election, we had 26 contestants, unprecedented in the country. Before it was only 3 or 4 max, on 26 contestants. Even though 6 were able to make it to the final crossing line.
And,
But
that's
not
all,
the-
and that's all thanks to Adama Barrow.
of course, and his policies of opening up the political space. So we don't mind that. In fact, we want that. We want people to come and, bring ideas, alternatives. Government need alternatives, and I think what people like SFL fail to produce an alternative. Instead, they embark on misinforming the public, thinking that could take them to status. I'll start with this first allegation about the 19 million the speaker receives every 5 years, which is false. The speaker receives nothing more than 17 million every 5 years, and this is tax. This doesn't include taxes. So this includes taxes.
People
so when
would
you
say 17, 19,
but-
what's the difference?
no, there's a huge difference. If you say he receives 19, he doesn't receive 19 million. His salaries and allowances altogether every 5 years is $17 million. Now you remove the taxes from that, it's going below $17 million. So it's not, so it makes a huge difference. If you tax the 17 million, what is remaining? I'm not sure. I mean, here tax is about more than 25%. So you look at that, obviously, it's far less than 19 million. I think as someone who wants to be president, give the right figures and we wouldn't have an issue with that. So that one, we need to make that very clear. But even he himself was paid $1.5 million every year. You multiply that by 5 years, it's almost 1.5 by 5. So that's also
7.5.
Exactly. So what's the difference? And when he was being paid that money, the driver who was driving him and his security were paid 5,000. So why didn't he complain at that time? Why didn't he say that, no, I'm going to share my salary with the driver because he receives less? Yesterday, I heard him say the president is giving $500,000. I mean, I'm not sure how much the president receives, but even if he receives that, that should be lowest.
Why should that be a secret? Why should the president's
I'm not saying
salary
I don't
be
know.
a secret?
I don't know.
You should know.
No, but I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much he
Find
earns.
out for next week.
Yes. So but even if that is the case, that is the lowest in the sub. That is about less than $15,000. I mean, a president. So I mean, we need to understand one thing: the president's office cannot be belittled in any manner. The president has a huge role to play. He's the president of the Republic of the country, commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
SFL does not deny that.
Yes. So, but I mean, saying that the president earns 500,000 and his driver earns this, I think that is you are trying to cause this affection between the president and the people who work under him, and that is not correct. But he was receiving over $7-8 million every 5 years. Why didn't he share the salary with his driver, who was also receiving less than $5,000? And also he made a statement saying that at the last General Assembly, over 80 people went. That's false. No more than 15 people went officially.
Yeah, but we kept asking you how many people went to
But
UNGA.
I told you that no more than 15 people went. I cannot tell you the exact figure, but no more than 15 people went officially as part of the official delegation. There are those who went on their own behalf, who want to be there. They went to New York, but they are not a part of the official travel list.
This was in September.
Officially, yes.
October,
officially.
November, December, 3 full months to come up with an official figure. A whole government machinery.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is that the official figure is not more than 15 people who went to UNGA. So
Is it 13? Is it 11? Is it 9? Is it 12? All these numbers are below 15. So what is the actual figure?
I don't know the actual figure. I'm also struggling to get the actual figure. But
From
what I
who?
can,
Who
what
is-
I can,
who
what
ca-
I can,
who can provide
it's,
this
It's
actual-
the Ministry of Foreign Affairs who has the official list, and what I've been.
Okay,
made
we
to
will call
understand-
Yabo
yes,
after this.
yes.
We will call Yabo.
But what I
and say,
can
for
tell you is
heaven's
that
sake,
80 is false. Again, I don't know where he got his figures from, but it's false. Now, when it comes to the presidential meet the people's tour, he said in 2023, 61 million was spent on the tour. I don't know where he gets his figures from, to be honest. That was 35 million. Out of this 35 million, 7.3 million was paid for the DSAs, for the security services, and 3.5 for the civilians. That's about 10 million out of the 35 million. And in fact, for the security forces, their DSA daily subsistence allowance was $600 before. It's under this government that we increased it $1,500 per night. So it's not 61 million. I don't know where I got this 61 million from. He needs to come back here and explain to us. And that is also false, and we need to also debunk that. Now, when it comes to dishonesty, and I mean, SI himself, when he was at the TRRC, was receiving taxpayers' money and campaigning. He had an agenda to become president, and he was using the platform that was given to him by the government to do his political campaign. That is why he didn't even complete the job. He didn't even complete the job. When the final report was written, he wasn't even there. He was out there campaigning. What is more dishonest than that? And I think that needs to be clear, and the government need to understand that. But also, he doesn't understand governance issues. When I hear him speak, it tells me that he's a man who governments will be in grave danger in giving him the keys to State House. Someone who doesn't understand how governance works, I mean, to be honest, it will be in grave danger, because if you listen, you don't also understand how elections work. I was listening to about polling stations, about when you bring the marble, people don't know which marble. No, when I was election observer,
after the marble has been cast.
Yes.
When it comes out, you cannot determine that, you know, this is a marble thrown for UDP or...
No, but I'll tell you something. That tells me that S has never been where we are doing the counting. I was election observer in the Gambia and many countries. I've elections in Nigeria and here, in fact. Now, when you open the box, the ballot, how do you call it again?
I think they call them baskets.
The drum.
The drum. Okay, the drum.
When you open the drum,
yeah,
they have what they call the sieve and sand. That's why our system is called the drum, the sieve, and the marble, the drum, the sieve, and the sand. Observers are there. Even if your party agents are not there, not all parties can pay their party agents to be in every 1,800 polling stations. And I think that was one of the things that happened to SFR Sobea. They could not afford it. So some of polling stations, there are no agents there. And he was saying that they all... No, that was false, man. How can you have your agents? I mean, you don't pay agents. You bring agents who are militants of the party. They're not there for the money. Even if you don't pay them, they come and sit there until the end, because in their interest to be there. So, I mean, if he tells us that he pays his agents 300, and when they told them you are supposed to pay 1,500, they disappeared. I mean, that is ridiculous. So for me, when you take the drum, you empty it into the sieve and the sand. There are holes in this. So every sieve has 100 holes. So if it fills it, the agents are there, the media is there, the observers there, both international and local observers are all there. And they count. Say, okay, this drum is NRP's drum. And they put it on the
Why select NRP? Why not say CA?
Okay, whatever. Okay, this drum is CA's drum. And they put it on and they throw the marble on the sieve, and they count it. Everybody is there, local observers, international observers, the international press, everybody, other parties' agents, not even him. Let's say we have 6 candidates, other parties, they have agents. And they say, okay, for this particular polling station, CA has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody counts. I all agree. 10 votes, 10 marbles. Everybody notes that down. So even if your party agent is not there, you also bear. Other party agents are there. Other observers are there. And this is written. That is why in Gambia, we get the results from each polling station before IEC even publishes it. So this election is the most rigged-proof election in the world. It's very unique. You cannot cheat the elections. Now, when it comes to, he was talking about, how do you call it again? He was talking about inducement. He said he did not do it. Well, I was in Kabada 2 days before elections, campaigning for the NPP. I was in Kabada. And I met SFR's team distributing money and jerseys to young people in Kabada. We met.
Well, he admitted the jersey bit.
Oh, please.
The implications. This transformation raises serious concerns. It demonstrates how power can fundamentally alter political positions. It questions the sincerity of opposition, criticism in the Gambia. It shows how political appointments can silence critical voices. It reveals the potential hollowness of political principles when faced with opportunity, the price of power. What we witness in Sisi's transformation is the price of power, how a position in government can turn a critic into a defender, raising fundamental questions about political integrity in the Gambia. Can the public trust opposition figures who might change their tune once in power? How does this affect the credibility of current opposition criticism? What does this say about the state of democratic discourse in the Gambia? How can citizens distinguish between principled opposition and opportunistic criticism? The lesson. The most troubling aspect isn't just that Sisi changed his position, it's that he now actively attacks others who make the same criticisms he once made. This suggests not just a change of perspective, but a complete reversal of principles for the sake of power and position. This case serves as a stark reminder that in Gambian politics, today's fiercest critics might become tomorrow's staunchest defenders, leaving citizens to wonder about the true nature of political opposition and the price of power in their democracy. The irony of questioning Issa Val's competence, Ceesay's recent claims. When I hear him speak, it tells me that is a man who governments will be in grave danger in giving him the keys to State House. Someone who doesn't understand how governance works. Issa Val's actual credentials, legal career and expertise. Distinguished career as an international lawyer, lead counsel for the Gambia's Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission, TRRC. Experience as a prosecutor at the International Criminal Court, ICC. Extensive background in international law and human rights.
When I took the job, little did I know that it was going to be the most important work I have ever done. I have done cases of the highest order. I have done cases that are most complex. I have done cases that are much talked about everywhere else. From genocide against sitting head of states to some of the most notorious rebels. I have done them all. And I thought I have seen it all. But little did I know.
Government experience, led complex investigations and legal proceedings in the Gambia, worked with international governance bodies. Deep understanding of constitutional and administrative law. Experience in transitional justice and democratic reform. Key achievements. Successfully led the TRRC investigations into human rights violations, contributed to international criminal justice at the ICC, helped establish legal frameworks for democratic transition, demonstrated expertise in governmental procedures and constitutional matters. The stark contrast. Ceesay dismisses Issa Val's understanding of governance, yet Issa Val has spent his career working at the highest levels of national and international governance. Ceesay's criticism appears to contradict Issa Val's well-documented expertise. The irony of a new minister questioning the competence of an experienced international lawyer. Critical analysis. Ceesay's criticism seems politically motivated rather than based on facts. His dismissal of Issa Val's competence contradicts public record. The attack appears to be part of a broader pattern of defending government positions. This criticism raises questions about political motivation versus genuine concern. Questions the credibility of Ceesay's other criticisms of Issa Val, suggests potential political motivation behind the attacks, highlights the contrast between professional credentials and political rhetoric, demonstrates how political positions can lead to dismissing established expertise. If you've been following Gambian politics, you know how crucial it is to hold our leaders accountable. Don't let this story stay hidden. Share this video to expose how power can transform critics into defenders overnight. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications because we're bringing you more groundbreaking revelations about the Gambia's political landscape. What do you think about Ismaila Ceesay's transformation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's have this important conversation about our democracy. If you're new here and want more unfiltered political analysis, click that subscribe button. We're just getting started. Remember, democracy works best when we stay informed and engaged.